way, speaking of Elden Ring, I've been checking out the score, uh, which is the score is by Steve D. It currently has a Kickstarter going, and essentially, we got an email from Steve saying, "Here's the game. Go ahead and check it out. It is currently Kickstarter." I first encountered Steve at PAX Oz way back when. And went to a panel in which the score, this game that I am now talking about, was presented as, I think it won a award there. I want to double check what the award is. Scrolling. It is the PAX Indie Showcase. It was one of the entries there. But yeah, we got the score. I read through it, and I have a good idea of the rules, but I don't think I have a good idea of how it plays. And so, Cole, you're a person who likes surprises, do you not?
I love surprises.
Well, I have a surprise for you. I'm going to give you a link, and I want you to click on it.
All right.
Please.
I'm also looking at the Kickstarter at the same time. Oh, hey. Oh, hey. I just got that link. Cool.
I'm going to change my scene over, and we're going to do an actual play of the score, and I'm going to try and have an idea of how to play it. So this will be on YouTube, this segment. So be sure to check that out. This will be like a short little video. So I'll explain the rules as we go. The general gist is that this is a game with 18 cards and will last for 18 minutes. I very much doubt I can play this in 18 minutes, given by how I play games like this. But I am going to have an attempt at doing so.
Okay.
Can I make you? You're a GM now.
I am a GM now.
All right. So refresh the page. You should be able to jump between all these things.
All right.
And I shall introduce this here game.
Okay, I am on the planning page.
Oh. Yes, the score is a game about heists. It is a game about. Let me just open up the thing.
I should probably also look at that email if Steve sent it through.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll guide you through it.
Okay.
So this is a game about heists. This is a game where you create a heist very quickly in a stage called planning the heist. And then you build a character from a bunch of cards you get. And then you play through moments in the heist. It has 5 acts. They're pretty quickly. They play pretty quick. And it's primarily improvisational based. The exact description is 1 crew, 1 target, 1 chance. The score is a storytelling game about pulling off the heist of a century in order to bag the score of a lifetime. You win by telling a cool story together. The cards tell you who's in the spotlight, and if they fail or succeed. So, we start off with planning the heist. And the way this works is I'm going to flip these 2 cards, and these are going to tell us who our target is, like what we're trying to get, and I believe where it is set.
Okay.
So I'm going to flip this card. I'm going to flip this card, and we get to choose what we're looking for.
The second card disappeared for me.
Yep, I just picked it up on accident.
Oops.
Let me do that again. Roll20 is not the best way. If you go on Tin Card,
there you go.
If you go on Tin Card's website and check out the Kickstarter and so forth, there is information about. There is a thing for tabletop. What's it called? Artificial tabletop. The Steam game. What's that called?
Tabletop Simulator.
Tabletop Simulator. I was close. On that, they have like a previously made thing, but I don't like that game. I find it really clunky, and I don't flip it around the table, and I find it bad. And I don't like Roll20 either, but that's the one I know better. So I have made up a thing on Roll20 using screenshotting things and putting it around. And so we have the options of hospital or desert / forest / tundra. And we could be looking for either proof or the truth. Now, we could take a moment here to think about where we are going to play this game and where this mystery is being set. My default is Blaze in the Dark. I'm thinking it'd be very fun to play the Blaze in the Dark heist in a different system. But I'm open to playing it kind of like a modern day thing, like a Ocean's 11, a thing in the past, where we're doing something like that, a thing in the future, whatever you decide. Do you have any strong feelings in that way?
I mean, I was already looking at the hospital all the time, and just wanting to find proof is very enjoyable to me, just because, like, hospital system is a fucking scam.
Yes. So do you have an idea of like what kind of setting would you like? Would it like to be modern day? Would you like to be fantasy?
Let's keep it to Blades in the Dark. I like that idea, and it's an easy like pull for, I think, a lot of people who listen to the show,
and probably not for many people beyond that. But yeah. Blades in the Dark, for everyone who doesn't know, is a tabletop RPG set in a kind of Victorian era kind of thing, industrial fantasy, and there's people with ghosts, people with ghost powers. There is no sun. It's basically Dishonored, with some changes. So Blaze in the Dark, we're going to a hospital, and do you want to find proof or the truth? They're both kind of similar, but what are you feeling like? Are you feeling proof?
I'm feeling proof for sure.
Alrighty ho. So that having been done, I don't have any character sheets or anything to write this down. I have a piece of paper in which I've written this down. We'll basically just have to refresh this. And I made you the GM so you can jump between the two and sort of do this. Next, we move on to character creation. Now, we have 12 cards of this deck, each split between us, which means we have 6 abilities each. It's a lot of abilities, and so we're probably going to be jumping back and forth between this page a bunch. However, feel free to flip these cards.
Ooh.
Don't pick them up, because then you'll have to figure that all out. And you'll learn what your specific character is. Now, as I understand it, if you have more than 2 people, it gets spread out more evenly. Like if you have 4 or 5, they have like a couple abilities each. But as it is, we're going to play like a duo mission, and we're all going to be using these cool abilities. Now, all these things are cool things that our characters can do. We can, like, for instance, I can disguise, I can stealth, I'm very good with gunplay, I am very good with coercion, I'm very good with driving, and I'm a genius. This is like a very late game, probably the part of Blaze in the Dark where my character is broken because I can do absolutely everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we have all these abilities. What does your character do? I know I can see it, but please introduce it to me.
Yeah, so my character is experienced in the art of forgery, is able to do concealment, can fast talk, has gear whenever needed, signals. Yep. So I guess in like the Blades in the Dark world is probably like the ghost field, and then break and enter as well.
So that having been said, all we have to do now is we can flesh out our characters a little bit more, but essentially come up with a name and pronouns, and that's basically it. And then we just jump straight into the game. It's very quick.
Okay.
But if you want to add more details, like give me a look, tell me what they're wearing, tell me what they're like, then we can go from there.
Yeah.
And try and make all these skills all make sense at once. I'm gonna call myself the Faceless. I'm gonna have cool mask, pronouns any, cool mask concealing many faces. And yeah. Oh, Jesus. Also, if you, after you've typed out and press enter, it makes the thing jump to one side, so I will just adjust that.
All right.
Because again, this is Roll20 and the typing sucks.
It's so bad. Let's see. This is Had a name. Hold on, let me make sure.
I'll also jump over to just for my own research. I'll jump over to character names in case we need to have character names for Blaze the Dark. Because Blaze the Dark has a bunch of really cool NPC names that I can just sort of throw in. Like Wester, Bond, Tucker, Stev, Ring. Okay, you're playing Kira?
Yeah. There we go. So yeah, I will be playing Kira, Reach, Ingram. They, them. They are well dressed. They have a long jacket and they wear a flat cap.
Cool. And what are they like? What are they like?
What are they like indeed? I imagine them, well, they can fast talk and they have access to a lot of things. So some kind of like, if I went playbook wise, it'd be a combination of like Spider with slide abilities and a little bit of the lurk as well.
Yeah.
So they're probably calm, cool, kind of very well collected. And the reason why they're called Reach is because they're able to kind of reach past boundaries and get around like oh well, you're not supposed to be back here. Don't worry about it. I'm just coming back here. I gotta check some pipes for you. You don't want me to call your boss because then it's gonna be really awkward for you. It's gonna be really awkward for me. I'm just gonna have to stand here, and then your boss can be like, "Why you haven't fixed anything yet?" And I'm gonna be like, "Well, this person won't let me by." And then they'll look at you and be like, "Why the fuck haven't you let them in?"
You say your nickname is Reach. Is this like the Dishonored 2 special ability where Emily Caldwin shoots out a ghost hand and then pulls herself across the map?
Ooh, I didn't think about that, but yes.
Cool. All right, and do we have an idea why we're going to the hospital for proof?
There's a low-hanging fruit. People are being harvested for ghost stuff.
Okay. They're harvesting ghosts from people. Are people dying and they're taking the ghost, or are they like taking out the ghosts from people and then letting them wander around without a ghost?
I think that's more fucked up, and I like that one more.
Okay, that's good. I love that's a thing called hollows in the Blades in the Dark universe. And so yes, so we're gonna do that. So we're looking for proof that they are basically going in and doing that, and we're gonna use all these things in order to try and get this. I'm very curious because I have the skill driving, and the thing about a hospital is it requires very little driving unless we're getting there or going away. And so I'm concerned if in the middle of a game I'm going to have to start driving for some reason. But we'll see how that goes. So, that having been done, let's jump over to the story. I'll bring you over here.
Yeah, I am already into the action.
Right. So, Act 1 is all to plan. The way this works is there is basically two modes of play. There's all to plan, off the rails, all to plan, off the rails, and all to plan. In all to plan, if a special ability comes up and we have it, we get to sort of master it and sort of overcome it. If there is an ability that we do not have, then we have to sort of figure out our way around it. And I quickly read the rules for that one. If the talent shown is not one possessed by the player, the card goes to the player with the fewest cards. Breaking tiles discussed above. Describe how this talent is of no use to the heist because of the incredible security surrounding the target or the necessary conditions of the heist. This is usually not done as a scene itself, but as a statement of the facts in play. So, we're going to flip a card, and whoever has this ability, or doesn't have this ability, who has fewest cards, we all have the same amount of cards. So I think the rules state that the person who last watched a heist movie gets to play. And then we'll proceed. So let's flip this card, see if it's an ability we have. Stealth. One of us has stealth. Let's jump back.
You do, I believe.
I have stealth. Okay. So we're beginning a heist in a hospital where they are harvesting souls from things, and I am stealthy. So I think this is probably we enter the hospital, probably together, and there's lots of people. There's lots of areas we can't go into. and I think I just walk in, and I think that's just it. I just kind of like, I don't steal like a doctor's disguise or whatever. I just kind of like walk into a room when no one's looking, and then just sort of like move through. We could be separate. I think it's more interesting if we're like separate rather than together. So it could be a thing where we walk into the hospital, or I walk into the hospital alone and begin to sort of like move through. And so there's lots of security and lots of these kind of things, and yeah, and then we sort of move through that way.
Yeah.
And so that is the first scene. I just walk into the hospital and just move around easily. Now,
I was gonna say, I imagine it's just like it is this kind of off-white hospital floor. People in various like medical garb walking around, maybe a few blue coats who are just hired on.
Cops.
Yeah. Some extra cops just like wandering, because sometimes they get hired out for those kind of extra jobs and get a little extra money on the side. And there's just like one cop going over to talk to one of the doctors, and leans up, and we just see like a little hint of faceless, just like the mask coming right past and walking by.
I think this is like the start of Dark Knight Rises. No, Dark Knight. Let's not mention Dark Knight Rises, where you just see the back of my head, and you don't sort of see like my face is currently like concealed. Like the camera just doesn't focus on it as we sort of move through. So let's flip this card.
Ooh.
We have deep cover. Does any of us have deep cover?
I do not remember any of us having deep cover.
Nope. Okay. Now we go back to that rule where it sort of describes describes what happens when we don't have the skill. If a talent is shown is not one possessed by the player, the card goes blah, 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 blah. Play with the fewest cards. Describe how this talent is of no use in the heist because of the incredible security surrounding the target or the necessary condition of the heist. This is usually not done as a scene itself, but as a statement of the facts and plays. Example, the first card is disguise, and Megan describes how she sneaks into the mansion dressed as a wealthy actress. Next card is B&E, and Peter says, now you're on the inside, you can't crack into the safe. It is controlled entirely off-site and only opened in the timer. Hopefully the next card will provide a different situation. So how do you think I walk into this thing not wearing a disguise, and an obstacle gets in my way that required me to be in deep cover? What would that obstacle be?
I imagine it's like a consistent personnel check. Like it is specifically this one specific unit of the Blue Coats. It's the same doctors and nurses at all times. Even the cleaning staff, it has to be the same people. If they call out, they're immediately investigated and checked on, and they can't actually like leave the building. They have to stay on the like near the building within like running rate, like a short sprint to get to. So
yeah, and I have to, in order to progress forward, I have to be like a part of this group. So having just wandered in, I'm just seeing a bunch of guards of like, damn it, I should have done like some Hitman stuff where I'm like it's not even like a Hitman thing where I knock someone out and steal their costume. It's just that I need to be, everyone's a noticer in that way. So that having been done, my plans are foiled. Let's flip this next card.
Another one we don't
Demolition. Have. Oh, Jesus. So what happens now? I see, is it like I see the blue coats and I'm like, all right, I have to find another way in. And then I walk over to a wall and I'm like, this would be great to like blow up. It says like records or something. And it's like they're standing in front of like a records thing. And then there's just an empty wall and I'm just like patting my pockets. I'm like, damn it.
No, it's even worse because we get a flashback to Reach getting ready to head into the same building and just like looks down at a supply box that we were loading up from and sees the explosives there.
Yeah.
And just goes.
And I just like, I look at it and I look at you and I'm saying, not even necessary. I got this.
Yeah.
And flashback to me, I'm just like, damn it. I should have brought that explosion.
I didn't bring the bomb.
And so I'm just like looking around, just kind of like, man, I gotta have some kind of a break. What I really hope happens in the rest of this game is that we just get skills we don't have for the rest of this game. I know that's mathematically impossible, but that would be very funny is if we just cannot progress from here.
We're just rolling one after one after one.
Yeah, we're like, I'm not even getting caught. Like, no one's even in my way. I'm just kind of like, this way's blocked, this way's blocked, and yeah. Do you want to flip the next card?
Yeah,
feel free.
Come on, give me the flip option. There it is. History. Another one we don't have.
Does anyone have history? No one has history.
No one has history. So I imagine this is like Reach starting to arrive, and we flash back to sitting around the table once again, and Reach is like, yeah. So the Forgotten Empress's hospital. This hospital actually has like a couple of my buddies who we used to work together. We all went out to drink and such, and yeah, I'm gonna go see if I'm gonna go see if I can catch up with them, and maybe they can sneak me in. And I walk in and I look at everyone and go, none of I don't recognize anyone here. I ask for like the specific doctor's name that I know, and they say, oh yeah, no, they've actually been let go like 6 months ago.
Yeah. It's very funny. So now we go to the off the rails segment, which is basically if a talent shown is one possessed by the player, they describe the scene explaining how the talent is being countermanded or prevented from working despite their best efforts, perhaps because the bad guys knew they were coming. If the talent shown is not one possessed by the player, then the card goes to the player with the fewest cards in front of them. They describe how the talent in question is used by the bad guys to directly hurt, delay, or capture the group, with they having no way to stop it. This is incredible.
This is awful.
I'm gonna flip this one.
Yep.
Fast talk. I think that is.
I got that one.
All right.
So what is it? We are countering them having this ability.
So if the talent shown is one possessed by the character, they describe a scene explaining how the talent is being countermanded or prevented from working despite their best efforts, perhaps because the bad guys knew they were talking. So you walked into this thing, you had a bunch of friends to check in, and then the moment you arrive, no one's there. What's Fast Talk do now? So
Fast Talk is, well, can I at least go into Riley's office? Dr. Riley had the this old medal that they were supposed to give me a long time back, and we just exchanged a few letters. I'm only going to be in town for a couple of days. I need to come get this letter. And there's just other stern guard with like a blue coat sergeant right behind them saying, if Dr. Riley had something for you, why did they not keep it at their house?
Yeah. And it might even be a thing where you're like asking like a receptionist, and the moment you say Dr. Riley, they give you like a knowing nod and then look to the blue coats, and the blue coats begin to approach as if they already like detected that like your relationship with Riley, Dr. Riley, was like they knew that you were coming through that way. And so that could be that fun thing. So we're doing terribly. This is good though. We should be getting rid of these bad cards early, and so it's all good. Do you want to flip the next card?
Yep. Close combat.
Is that me, or do I have shooting?
You have gunplay.
I have gunplay. So, good news is none of us have this, so we won't waste a card. Bad news is, if the talent shown is not one possessed by a player, then the card goes to the player with the fewest cards in front of them. Breaking ties before, they describe how the talent in question is used by the bad guys to directly hurt, delay, or capture the clue, with they having nowhere to stop this. So I think this might like jump over to me, standing at the wall, and figure out how to like blow it up or whatever. And then essentially what happens is the guards come over and like maybe the Dr. Riley thing happened and they were called into alert. And so they begin looking around. And then I'm just like standing there looking at a wall, and they like look at me, and then they just start like they take out their batons or whatever, and they try and like hit me. And I'm like trying to knock them off and like trying to like deflect them in a cool like spy way or whatever. But they're better at this than I am, and so I'm just like, I just get hit a bunch, and I'm like, this is bad, and I just like bail. I just like try and run away. It's going bad.
Oh boy.
I'm not counting cards either. I'm not really sure how many cards I have. I think we should probably jump over and like draw crosses over the cards we've used. So I've used stealth. And that's it.
I've only seen fast talk pop up.
Oh my god. My god.
It's wild that we got deep cover but not disguise.
Yeah, we'll get this. This is good. Using up all the bad cards is good. So let's with me running away and you being investigated by the guards, let's see what happens now. Control. Does anyone have control?
No.
Okay, I think it's your turn.
So, okay, keeping yourself in your other, I think it's just a loss of control with like the blue coats coming up to Reach and saying, Dr. Riley has not been working here for some time, but if you know them, we need you to come with us. And Reach is like, hey, whoa. I never agreed to this. I just wanted to come pick something up. And there's like a nurse that's walking with a cart, and Reach immediately like grabs the cart, shoves it towards the guards, and the blue coats immediately, one of the blue coats just like lifts up their foot and kicks it and sweeps the feet out from under Reach with that cart.
All right. So like things are literally out of control. I think to add on to that, there might be a thing where you might have had like a thing back at the base where you're like planning things out, pointing at explosives and stuff we might need, where you were like, all right, if anything goes bad, we meet at this certain point, and I'm not going for that point. Like you giving me like good advice for what this doing, me avoiding close combat, I'm just basically bailing. I'm going in the wrong direction. And so similarly, this is keeping yourself and others clear of head instead of hand. This is me kind of going panicky as this all sort of goes wrong. That having been done, let's jump to Act 3, which is all to plan. This is when it all goes good. Who flipped the last card? Was that me or you?
You did. Okay, yeah, so I will flip this one. Assistance. We have none. No
one?
Is this the hollows coming out?
Oh, is it? That could be interesting.
Is this, like,
wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me double check this, because all to plan is different. They don't just like send bad things to us. This could be good. If the talent trait is not one possessed by a player, the cards blah, 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 blah. Describe how the talent is no use in the heist because of the incredible security surrounding the target or the necessary conditions of the heist. This is not usually not done as a scene itself, but as a statement of the facts at play. So this is about how we don't have robot drones, adorable orphans, trained animals, or even 100 pizza deliveries. So this isn't them using hollows against us. This is us being like, damn, we should have brought a bunch of hollows. So...
Or like we may have, what is it in Blades in the Dark? Not cronies, not
yeah, whatever it's called. Doesn't matter. We're playing the score. Yeah. We can figure out what the actual name is. But like toughs or whatever. Who would we bring?
I bet you we had like someone who is like our patron of some kind. So I'm like someone who bankrolls all the gear.
Yeah.
That Reach brings. And it was like, well, shouldn't I come along? You know, I think I'm an investor in this hospital. No, it's too dangerous. There's going to be blue coats everywhere, military. It's just, no.
Yeah, we got this. We look confidently putting our hand on the explosive and thinking about all our close friends that are here. All right. I will flip one. Break and enter? I think you have this.
Yep.
All right. Walls, windows, cases, safes, locks. You break them. You enter. So as you're being escorted away, how do you break and enter?
So I think it's just like winded on the ground, gasping for air, about to be dragged away. I think they're like dragging Reach by the boots, you know, well dressed, being carried by the boots. And I think the thing that breaks is the like bootstraps themselves.
Oh, what if you like? Hold on. I'll let you continue, but it could be to pitch one. You could be like locked up in a room and then you just walk out. Like, you'd be put in a cell in a hospital and then you just find a way out. But please continue. That's just an idea.
Actually, no, that's actually a much better way of doing it. I was just like trying to think of the immediate next action, but no. The next thing that would happen after being captured would be
the window. What if you just go out the window and climb up the wall? Like a weird person.
Yeah, it's basically like they think they tie me down to a bed, secure me with like straps and such, and for like the next 20 minutes there's a guard in the room, and then the guard leaves, and the entire time reaches out, grabs like the knife that the guard had in their back of the belt, pulls it, and just very slowly, carefully is breaking the straps, and then the guard like steps out for a moment.
Yeah.
And right when that happens, there's a shatter of the window and Reach is scaling the wall.
Yeah. I think like, and there was probably like a moment while like the guard was standing there, were like, "Oh, I'm an expert, not and securing people to beds. I've been doing this since you were a child," and like just brags about it. And then the moment they turn away, you're just like out of there. You're like better than them at this. Although, like, to be honest, cutting a rope is not that hard. Like as long as you have a knife, that works. Okay, feel free to flip the next card.
All right. Let's see what we got. Oh, that's not the thing.
Oh, I can delete. You're also Jim. You can get rid of it.
There you go.
All right.
Flip card.
Concealment. You also have this, right?
My time to shine.
I'm like hiding somewhere. I'm having a terrible time.
Boop, boop. Let me go ahead and mark off break and enter real quick.
Nice and easy.
Okay. And yeah, I think that's just like the next scene is if you don't mind, it is running back to the point that like we were supposed to meet, and seeing Faceless like running around in a panic, grabbing you, putting you onto a gurney, covering you up with a sheet, and then
hiding me?
Yeah, hiding you.
You unseen or forgotten. Okay.
Yeah. And then just continuing to run away at that point, like you completely hidden so you can stay stealthy, basically.
Okay, I'm under a sheet. No one can see me.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. Well, like on a gurney, like a body being transported to the morgue.
Oh, okay, I get that.
Yeah.
Man, hopefully I get with the proof soon, because we're gonna have a hard time of it.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, Act 4. My time to flip. Gunplay. I have that. Do I not?
Mm-hmm,
I do. Yes. Okay. So, using gunplay, I get outsmarted, I believe. If talent shows one possessed by the player, they describe the scene, explaining how the talent is being countermanded or prevented from working despite their best efforts, perhaps because the bad guys knew they were coming. So I'm on a gurney, and I'm being wheeled into potentially like a morgue. I feel like that makes sense. And it's in the basement next to the records room that I'm at. And so underneath this thing, I think there's maybe like a shot of me being put into this, into the morgue box thing that's horrifying to be in. And I just like reach into my coat and pull out like a flintlock pistol. And I'm just like sitting there, and I'm just like, this isn't going to help me. I'm trying to sneak. And so I'm here with my gun, and I'm just like shifting around, trying to move out, and like having the gun at the ready in case it helps. But it won't, because if I shoot this gun, people are going to be on me in a second. And I'm also trying to be stealthy. But this is all I have. I'm not very good at close combat, but I have this. And so I try and shift to get out. All right. So do you want to flip the next card?
Yes, I will.
Oh, yeah.
This is a really fun and easy game. Hey, we're driving.
What? What am I doing? Is this
ghost
also
horse,
like
ghost horse?
What does that mean? There's no horses in Blaze the Dark.
I don't know, but there are ghost horses.
Okay. So I think what this is I might like get out, and because we're so close to the end of this game, I might get out of the the morgue, walking around with my gun and my sheet, and I'm just like kind of like wandering around quietly. I can hear all the guards outside, and I might actually like find the proof we're looking for. That's just like there, and it's like got like documents and all this thing, and I have it in my hand. And then I look at the door that I came in with like through the morgue, and that's got blue coats everywhere. And then I look at the other one, the record store, and that's also got like blue coats moving around. And then I look outside and I see the wagon we brought with the many goats at the front, and it's right there. I think there's like, it's like ready to go. It's parked in exactly the right place. We might even have like someone ready to just like take off, and I have no way of getting to them because the window is too small. And so I'm just like, shit. And so I'm here with my gun and all this thing. And then we go into the final card. Now, before we flip this final card, let me just go over the rules for what happens. This is the fun bit, because this is the end. The final card is the game plays the same all the way through the acts until only one card is left. The final card applies as normal, but with a twist. If it has a talent a crew member possesses, then they use it to strike the final blow, grab the score, and escape unharmed and unfollowed. Brackets, at least for now. End brackets. The final card is a talent. If the final card is a talent the crew lacks, then the player who gets the card has a choice. They can watch as the score slips through their fingers, and they choose to leave it behind to save everyone, or their character can sacrifice their life to get the score and the others out. Third option, they turn out to be evil the whole time and run off with the score. In either case, you can set up a sequel for your next game. The bad guys seek revenge, or you go back and steal the thing you almost got and get payback for your dead friend. So this last card is going to determine what this is. If this is anything we have, any skill we have, which so far we've got a lot of cards we don't have, and so this could be helpful for us. So if you want to flip this last card, we'll figure out how it goes.
It's one of the only ones we don't have.
Wait, no, you must have it, right? Technician?
No, I don't have technician.
You have gear.
I have gear, I have signals, and I have forgery.
Fuck. Well, this has been terrible. This has been a terrible heist. I've been so bad at it. So I'm in the morgue with this thing. What happens? How does this occur? Like, how does technician phase into this? Let me think about this. If the card is a talent the crew likes, and the player who gets the card has a choice. They can watch the score slip through their fingers, and they choose to leave it behind to save everyone, or their character can sacrifice the others to get the score and the others out. So I think this is you. Like, this is like, I'm at the thing. I could probably pass this thing through the window, but what happens then? I mean, if you want to not sacrifice yourself and I can sacrifice myself, that can also work, but...
I mean, so we talked about Reach hiding you in a gurney and hiding you in a morgue.
Yes.
Using concealment. Reach was never able to hide. So I think they are like making a entire ruckus. And let me just look back over at my other abilities.
Your many other abilities.
Oh God. So
forgery, gear, signals, break into, fast talk, concealment. Jesus.
So, we are trying to find proof that they are making hollows in this hospital.
Yeah.
That means these ghosts are somewhere.
Oh no.
So what do you think? First, let's ask the question of what do you think the proof is?
I think it's just like my basic writer brain is just like, this is just a thing that describes how they do it. Like, this is like a description of how the procedure works, how they take out the ghosts, or whatever. They wrote this down for some dumb reason, but I don't think that's a good idea. So if you have any better idea, please tell me.
Yeah, I think what you have with you is like a collection of the spirit jars where like all the ghosts are being contained.
Okay.
They are like pulled out and still very much sentient and conscious because we have that circle of ghosts and that like are very much like still able to interact with folks and hire crews to do jobs for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so what Reach went and did was find the rest of the hollows and smeared like some kind of like ectoplasm or something to get them all riled up and basically just started a riot in the hospital.
Okay.
And so there's this entire chaotic factor going on, and just shuts down the there are these electro fields that are like containing the ghosts and such as well.
Mm-hmm.
And as Reach is like running around, getting surrounded by guards, they find where all the hollows being contained, and just start setting them all loose. And there is a electric field that's like keeping them all calm and relaxed, and just pulls out a pipe, and just swings as hard as possible, and it blows up, sets the hollows loose, and gives you an opening to find a way to escape.
And so I think it's maybe a thing where I'm just like, I'm outside as the hospital is like on fire or something. Like it's all just a mess, and I like wait for you for a moment and like look around. And then I think a thing where I look down, put my head in my hands, and when I raise my head up, I have a different face. And I'm just like, all right, keep on doing it. Do the next bit. And you don't come out, I presume.
Oh no.
And the heist gets done, and I run away with it. And give the souls back or something, or give the proof to like a newspaper, because there's like a newspaper in Blades of the Dark or something. And
the ink rakes. And
so that's the score. How did you like it? How did you feel about it?
It's very interesting. And
quick.
I like it in the same way I like For the Queen, in which I can just straight up say, hey, we're gonna play a quick game, and then we play a really quick game.
Yeah, it is. I think it like describes, like it sort of says in the rules, this is, what does it say? It says like, ideally, this is a game for, like, this is a game to play up as a warm up for like a D&D game or like anything else. Like, it's kind of like a really fun thing to get everyone sort of warmed up before the game starts. My concern coming into this was that I would take too long, because whenever it comes to describing heists, it is very, it takes me, I go all into it. I'm just like, oh, here's all the cool things, but just like the cards and all this thing kept me ready to go. And it was really fun that it really, like, I was worried when we got to the end that we didn't have the item yet, but it really just sort of says you don't get the item until Act 5. And that was really fun. Also to let you know the odds of everything, I believe there are 24 cards in total, and we have 12. So we had a 50-50 chance of doing it no matter what, which is kind of fun. And so, yeah, this game is on Kickstarter. It's pretty rad. I like the art. I like the mechanics of it. I was wondering, like, when we had the options, the two options at the very start of we can have hospital or desert/forest/tundra and proof of the truth. I was like, should we have 3 cards and so we can design it easier? But it's like, with 2 cards, it's so easy. I was just like, I really enjoyed how you just sort of picked it up and ran with it. I like the mechanics. I like that we're both familiar enough with Blades of the Dark that we can just sort of take it and run with it. And yeah,
that's definitely something I like really like about it too, because it's a good like narrative drive. It kind of gets you to one, yes, and other folks just like follow through with what they're thinking, be open to other ideas, and share that thought process, and then kind of encourages like, hey, what kind of person is this person right in front of you, and gives you a good plethora of skills to think about. That like makes them a very specific kind of skilled, talented individual.
Yeah, I think the one thing that kind of got me is like having to decide whether like whose turn it was or whatever. I think it was just fun that we just like anyone who had an idea could just jump in and sort of play it, or like anyone who had a skill, which we never had any skills. And I feel like that like some of it, like I wish I didn't have to go back and like read over some of the rules here and there, like about like what does it mean when we're off the rails and we get a card we don't have, and having to think of it that way. I wish there was just like some like slightly easier thing. It wasn't hard, but it was just like, I wish there was just like something else that like made it stick in my brain a little bit more. But I don't know. At the same time, that was fun. That was easy. It was easy to set up, easy to sort of play through, easy to make a character. And it was a terrible heist. We did awful.
It was just a really bad heist. We were just way too cocky about it, and
no planning. No, by no fault of our own, which is kind of fun. It really nails that. But yeah. And yeah. Shout outs to this game and shout out to Steve D. And again, this game is on Kickstarter. So be sure to check it out.
Link will be below.
And also like link below. And also the things we're currently playing with are also available. If you go to the Kickstarter page, it gives you a link to like press materials and stuff like that. So you can like have a test of it before you play. And there's also going to be a print version. It's in Australia, and so luckily it's going to be cheaper for me than anyone else if you want to get a print version. But if you want to mess around with Roll20 or something, it's easy to get like a digital copy ready as well.
I just realized this is a game. These are the same people who made the game Partners, which I've seen in a lot of different game stores.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to our main topic, having done that weird ass thing, which is pitching a campaign. Now, this was an idea that you pitched